were wildly successful at the time. And they still keep getting sold today, which I don't think there's any other made-for-movie television that's 20 years old that continues to play. Then we got to do the series, and it was so much fun. But from the day it ended, I wanted to go back into that world. And I've been trying like crazy to figure out how to bring it back to life. And when this show had an opportunity to happen, it was like seeing an old friend. Or old friends. And getting to bring that universe back to life is one of the great gifts of my career.
We're happy to have you back, Dean. And as far as taking on these new roles for the three of you, had you watched The Librarians previously, either the show or any of the films?
Yeah, no, I watched the films with my mum. My mum was a huge fan. In fact, Louis' mum was a huge fan as well. I didn't see the series when it first came out, but we watched it all when I was off the roll. I was able to watch them all.
Love that, generational. How about you, Lydia?
Yeah, I watched it. I remember when obviously you get the audition, having like a reboot is so exciting because you've got like a template, obviously, to go and watch and see what it is you're coming in and whether you have to hit it. And I remember watching it and seeing the chemistry of the cast and the world of it and going, oh yeah, no, this is going to be big. This is going to be exciting. And it was an amazing opportunity to dive into. And it was a very cool first episode, I hope.
So good, so good. And who are your mom? Tell us about mom being a huge fan.
Yeah, my mom and my sister used to watch the show a lot. And I never watched it, sorry. I never watched it. And then I don't think my mom's been more excited about anything I've ever done in my life. So yeah, I'm auditioning, it's part of this show's called Librarian Spin. Oh my god! Christian Kane! and I watched, obviously when I was in the I watched the show and I was like, oh yeah, I recognize these characters' faces because I'd seen them around. But yeah, once I was in this world, I was really in this world.
I love that. Moms are so proud of you right now, aren't they? And Dean, as far as the spin-off goes, what are some key differences, would you say, from the original franchise?
Well, if you think of the very first movie, Noah Wiley was or his character, Flynn Larson, was a fish out of water. He was someone who had spent his entire life in academia. He'd read about everything, but he had done nothing. He had no real-life experiences. When he joined the library, for the first time he was out in the world, having to actually do the things he'd only read about. So he was a fish out of water. So when creating this show, we wanted to kind of bring that spirit back, but obviously we wanted to have a new character. And in the original movies, we introduced this idea of this magical library. But in the series, we brought out this new idea that there are annexes in the world, ways to access the library that's not at the actual location. And John Rogers and I have always talked about, well, where else might there be annexes? Why were there annexes somewhere else? Who was the librarian for those annexes? And one day we just started talking and said, well, what if there had been an annex in Belgrade, Serbia in 1847? Why would they have made one there? What was the librarian's mission? And what would happen if that librarian got caught in a time bubble and was rescued by Jacob Stone today?
Just all of that.
That was a lot! And this was actually filmed in Serbia as well.
That's right.
How was this filming in Serbia, everyone?
I mean, we're so lucky in Serbia because our first season, we got to go to all these most amazing locations. And I don't know, as an actor, you have the most amazing studio with the Annex, but to get to be in the city and the team behind it that organised all of our locations, and we got to film in like a theatre and in the presidential palace and in these places that, it makes it look as beautiful as it is. We actually, as actors, we get to be in real buildings, not in very art studios that have no windows. So we're grateful for both, to be completely honest. But no, Serbia's been wonderful, and the people are they're very good at having our film crews in their town centres, and they don't seem to be too mad about it.
I love that. Sort of, a little bit.
There was one moment,
She hated us. Is that what? Yeah, we were filming in the street. It was 6 a.m. So she had every reason to hate us. But so we were being loud filming, obviously, and she came out the window and screamed at us. And then it went quiet, and then it went, all right, everyone, camera turn over, action. And the minute we started speaking, she put her hand out the window with a foghorn. We said, action. We couldn't film for about 10-15 minutes.
Well, that's fun. Did you have a new fan?
Yeah.
As far as your characters, I want to dive a little deep into each of your characters. You have some big shoes to fill as the new librarian. I think everyone in the audience was really excited when you were licking things. How many of you enjoyed licking the tears? That was really fun.
It's something I share with my character. I thought every good character has a lot of yourself in them, so I thought I'd bring a lick everything. It was incredibly daunting, incredibly exciting. And I remember that I said this to Dean last night, the night before we started shooting, I had the biggest panic attack. Because it was such a big world we were stepping into. And we are standing on the shoulders of giants, in a sense, of what they set up in the first 3 films and then the series. But then you get to work with these amazing people every day, and our team over in Serbia. And it takes an army to make a show like this. And then you can relax into it, and you find that it's a joy and nothing to be scared of. But it was daunting, and it still is in a sense.
Well, you did incredible. We all loved you. Olivia and Louie, you're 2 geniuses over here. Talk a little bit about your characteristics and some things that are your favorite about each of your characters.
Yeah, it is actually kind of terrifying playing a genius because, my God, some of the words she says. I sometimes watch it and I go, God, I said that so fast. I'm so impressed with myself. I love my character. I thought I had the most fun in season 1 getting to play the smartest character in the world. Know absolutely nothing about what was going on, and it was so delightful, and getting to respond to your character being bonkers at all times in her head, and it was just it was so much fun, and sort of get to see her character get a bit more comfortable with magic if she ever decides to be able to say the word. But yeah.
And of course you inherited a library because that's normal, right?
I know, what a
How
vibe!
cool is that?
She's so grumpy about it. Like, girl, you've got a library, you've got a castle.
Literally, yes. I mean, even just the Morgan Library, if they wanted to give it to you, guys. Maybe that.
Who do we do it for? Someone?
And Bluey, Mr. Harvard over here. Okay.
No, it's funny because my character is kind of the polar opposite of yours in a way. So you'll see throughout the season, there's a lot of back and forth where I'm just like, bro, can you not see the magic that's happening around you? Why are you trying to be so
She's
silent?
like, no, shut up.
We have a lot of fun and then you can kind of see how our journeys develop and that sort of thing. So this is fun. It's fun to play against these guys and along with them. And yeah, you'll see all the adventures and everything. If you stay tuned to season 1.
Stay tuned, yeah. But no, the playing alongside each other is the real win of the show. Coming to work every day and you go, God, how am I going to do this scene with magic and long words and exciting things happening, and then you watch, Cal, Blue, and Jess, and you go, oh no, this will be great. This is easy. I just get to watch these guys react to them. And it's a real joy. It makes the joy.
You are very lucky to work with me.
I take away Cal.
Tom's like, I'm a favorite, yeah.
Well, you can tell from the photo right there.
I'm excited, guys. Let the the rest of you, yes. Just a little bit.
I'm really happy with that.
That's a great portrait photo, yes, Helen. As far as this huge dedicated fan base that the Librarians has, I mean, it just spans to so many different individuals. What makes it so different and so unique in your minds?
Dean, you wanna tackle that one?
Sure. When it comes to heroes in fantasy or adventure shows, they tend to have been bitten by a radioactive spider or had unbelievable tools that were built. The librarians just read a lot. And I think it makes it knowledge is power. And anyone, if you study hard enough, you can be a librarian. And I think that's part of what makes the show more accessible. But the thing about our fans, and I know you're here, so forgive me for saying it, but we have the smartest damn fans. One of the things our fans enjoy is Googling the things that we have in the show, because we try to make sure, while everything isn't exactly the way it is in reality, there's always a connection. You can always find, if you read up about the director back tonight, you'll see that the guy who cut off the head and threw it in the water is part of the mythology. So we always try to connect it. And our fans, they end up knowing the show better than we do. So when we designed the show, we wanted it to be that if you've never seen the Librarians before, you could watch the show, you could have a great time. But if you're a real fan, every week there are Easter eggs for the fans. And they're going to see things that other people won't see. So you get an added bonus.
Easter eggs. Can you talk about any of these Easter eggs that fans can look forward to?
Oh, I don't want to spoil it.
You're not spoiling it?
I would just say look very carefully at things on the wall, look at designs, and I'll give you this. A fan favorite character is going to make an appearance this season. So.
And I lick more things.
As one does.
As one does. As far as favorite mythical figures or historical moments in this season, was there one that stood out the most for each of you that you're just like, I'm a diehard fan of this?
It's difficult because it's spoilers.
Yeah, how much good was the way?
You know, yes, this is a spoiler. Okay, how about just in general? What are some of your favorite mythical figures or creatures?
Gosh, I think just genuinely following on from what Dean said, they're getting to Google, getting these scripts in, getting to research it, and be like, hey, I don't know how this writer's room's come up with half of this stuff. It is an absolute treat, but it is mind-boggling. I don't know, I feel like, oh no, it's so hard about spoilers because I'm like, yeah, there are loads that every single episode, they're so rich with, historical stuff and scientific stuff and mythological stuff and characters. And episode 1 is so wonderful because it's a monster. And I think what's so lovely about Librarians, the original one as well, is we really, for the rest of the season, dive into magic corrupting people and magic being a thing that people take too far, and we go back to people. And I think because these characters are so smart and because they are so well read, when they meet these normal people that have been corrupted by magic, they're just able to connect and able to sort of, learn more about it. So our first one is a monster, and the rest is.
Yeah, there's also character mythological, legendary urban legend characters that have a bit of a twist to them, a new take that you perhaps haven't seen in TV or film before, a new way of putting this character or this figure out into the zeitgeist with an interesting twist, which has been quite fun. I can't spoil anything.
This is a really hard game we're playing right now. Sorry, this is a difficult question.
But to answer your question, I like dragons. Before I answer the question.
Look for season 2 for that.
Oh, season 2, everyone. I think Dean just dropped something.
We just finished shooting the 6th episode of season 2. Second season. And again, you talked about earlier about being home at TNT. So we were originally making the show for the CW. And we were into the making of it when I got a call from TNT. And they said, is there any chance you could move the show over to TNT? And I was like, I don't no, I've never heard of that happening before, but let me see what I could do. And I talked to the people at the CW, and I have to say I was kind of shocked on how sympathetic they were. They understood why I wanted to bring the show home again. And it was a little bit of negotiating gymnastics, but we got it done. They were super supportive, and we got to move the show to TNT. And so I got to show them some of the stuff we'd done, and they were so enthusiastic that they greenlit the second season before we even finished the first season. And that's